Hey everybody, what's happening? I'm back in the backyard because we got a dog over here that thinks that my pool belongs to him. Yep, that's him. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to be making a video for you guys over here on this table because I wanted to make a video for you today, and this is the best solution I came up with. So that's what we're going with. All right. So let's get to it. What is this video about? So by the end of this video, you will, and let me get this down a little bit closer. I'm going to be showing you why. All right. It's taking a while. Focus. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to be showing you that you can do a scale, like I have this minor scale. Hopefully you can hear that. And that every scale note, which could be a melody, think of it as your melody notes. Every melody note has 6 possible chords into which it will fit, right? 6 chords. So that's what we're going to learn in this video, is that you can harmonize a note. Let's go up an octave. You can start off with a note, in this case an A, and you can harmonize it with multiple chords. So let's get right to it. So I've got an A. Let me move this up. We're going to start with an A. Now, of course, you can play an A major chord. Right? You can also play an A minor chord. And that's using the root, right? Obviously the A, same note. But in a chord, there's 3 notes, minimum. So there's also the third of the chord. So if we turn the A, if we say the A is not going to be the root of the chord, but it's going to be the third of the chord, now we can make it into an F. We can harmonize it with an F major chord because the third of F major is also A. I hope that makes sense so far. And the third of F sharp minor is also an A. F sharp minor, F sharp, A, C sharp. All right, so let's review from here. We can play A major. We can play A minor. We can play F major. And we can play F sharp minor. Right? And do you see how A is a part of all those chords? But we're not done. Nope. We've got the 5th degree of the scale, or the chord, the 5th of the chord. So if we make A the 5th of the chord, in other words, if we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're at D. So we can play a D minor. And see, here's my A, it's the 5th. We can also play, guess what? A D major. So the chords that don't incorporate the third, that don't incorporate the melody note as the third of the chord, in other words, the root and the 5th, you can turn those into major and minor chords. The chord that uses the third, you're actually going to move to a different chord. So instead of A major and A minor, right, which use A in the root position, and D major and D minor that use A in the 5th position, we can use A in the 3rd position for F major. But then the third this note has to stay here, so we're going to shift the root down here, we're going to shift the F to an F sharp, and we're going to shift the C to a C sharp. We're going to keep the A, and we're going to move to F sharp minor. Right, so I hope that all makes sense. So let's review now. We've got 6 chords that we can use to harmonize any one note, right? So here, again, we can play A major, A minor, right? And those are based off the note as the root. And then if we move the note based off the third, we can play F major and F sharp minor. And then if we base the note, the melody note, on the 5th of the chord, we can play D major and D minor. Right? So I hope that all makes sense. Let's look at a different note, and all the same principles are going to apply. So this is the same for any note, but let's go off of C just to look at it and see how this works. We're going to go off of C. So C. Now, if you think back to what we just did, you're probably thinking, well, let's play a C major chord. Okay, let's do it. And since we're on the root, we can play a C minor chord. C as the third, we can play a G sharp major chord, or A flat minor, A flat major. Right, here's the C major chord. We can also play an A minor chord. C is the third. And then C as the 5th of the chord, we can play F major, and we can play F minor. So now let's just think about composition. Rather than focus on the melody changing over a chord, you can also harmonize a melody note, the same note, with different chords, and you can get a lot of interesting movement. So I'm just going to play around for a second with those 6 chords underneath the C, but I'm only going to play chords that have C in them, right? Because we just went through 6 of them. We saw 6 that had A in them, and we saw 6 that had C in them. So all I'm going to do is use those chords, and I'm going to move around and see if I can find something I like, but at least you'll get to hear it. So here's our C. And now we can start, and I'm going to be doing inversions and different things to make it easy, but I'm just going to keep C as part of the chord. Voila. Are you guys with me? Hopefully you are. I'm working on getting you guys a PDF that has all this information printed out. This is what it'll look like. It's not done, don't look at it. But I hope you like this, and if it's helping you, great. And if you have any questions, of course, if you're a patron, send me a message on the Patreon site. In the meantime, we'll be splashing around in the summer heat. Right, Biscuit? Good boy. All right. See you guys later.